Dear soul, breathe with me, because this is not a small misunderstanding. This is not a simple mistake that you can ignore and hope it disappears. This is identity theft energy, and it carries legal consequences if you stay silent. And Archangel Michael is coming through with a warning that is sharp, protective, and urgent. A signature bearing your name just crossed a line it was never supposed to cross. You need to hear that again. Your name, your signature, your identity. And it was written by a hand that is not yours. Yet it's close enough to imitate you, close enough to know your details, close enough to think they can wear your life like a mask. Archangel Michael says, it was written by a hand you once trusted, someone who knows just enough about you to cause serious damage. Right now, a loan is being processed using your details without your permission. The person who did this is not shaking with fear yet. They are smiling. They are confident. They believe they outsmarted the system. But listen to what Michael says next. What they didn't realize is that spiritual systems never sleep. Yes, the banking system may run on paperwork, verification, and numbers, but the spiritual realm runs on truth. And truth leaves a trail that cannot be erased. This act was not random. It was calculated, strategic, and designed to shift consequences onto your shoulders. They want you to be the one questioned. They want your name attached to the debt. They want your future stained while they walk away clean. But heaven is not confused about who you are. Archangel Michael says, your spiritual record remains untouched because the divine knows you are innocent. And that one sentence should calm you, because it means something powerful, even if a human system temporarily believes a lie. The heavens already recorded the truth. Now listen carefully, dear soul, because this is where the message becomes very practical. Michael is showing me a timeline, almost like flashing numbers, dates, and locations as markers. I saw Taipei like a stamp, and then I saw March 1933 like an old file date. Don't get stuck on whether those exact details are literal. Sometimes the spirit uses symbolic markers, codes, to point you toward a place, a branch, a type of record, or a paper trail. Then I heard, the bank involved thinks they're dealing with you. They've already started background verification, and something isn't adding up. It's small, like one mismatch. Not enough to stop the loan completely yet, but enough to trigger suspicion. And when suspicion enters a system, it spreads. It spreads to compliance. It spreads to fraud review. It spreads to supervisors. It spreads to databases. That's why the fraudster is getting nervous, because they've realized any wrong move could link it directly back to them. So what do they do when panic hits? They don't confess. They don't take responsibility. They prepare to vanish. They start planning how to disappear. New number, new address, new story, new excuse. But Archangel Michael says, you are not unprotected. Heaven saw this betrayal before the ink dried. And I need you to understand what that means in real life. It means someone inside the institution is being nudged to look deeper. It means a delay is being placed on the process. It means a human ally is being positioned near your file. Someone who doesn't even realize they are being guided. You may receive a call, an email, or a letter that feels confused. They may say something like, we need to confirm some details. Can you verify this application? We're reviewing a file connected to your information. Do not panic when that happens. The contact is not punishment. That contact is protection. Type amen if you receive this message with faith, because your awareness is about to save your name. Now hear this part, because it is the hardest truth for many people. The one who used your name is not a stranger. Archangel Michael is very direct. It's someone close enough to know your documents, your habits, your timing. Someone who has seen your ID. Someone who has heard you speak about your finances. Someone who knows where you keep certain papers, or how you store scans on your phone. And because you've been quiet lately, because you've been focused on your own healing, your own life, they assumed you wouldn't notice, but your spirit noticed. That's why your sleep patterns changed. That's why your intuition has been tugging at you with a strange restlessness. That's why you felt uneasy without being able to name it. That is not anxiety for no reason. That is spiritual alert. Your soul was being warned in advance, so you can act before the damage becomes permanent. Now listen, this situation is bigger than just a loan, because when a person dares to forge your name for a loan, it usually means one of two things. 1, they are desperate and reckless. 2, 3, they've done it before. 4, and Michael confirms it. They've done this before. Not just to you, but yours is the first that triggered divine interference. Because your path is sealed, your name carries weight, your destiny carries protection, and anyone who tries to reroute your life through deception triggers angelic justice. I'm also seeing the energy around your mailbox and email changing. That means expect something to arrive: paperwork, a strange notification, a verification message, a credit alert, a letter that has your name. But the numbers are unfamiliar, and Archangel Michael says, do not ignore it, because that is your first real-world confirmation of what heaven already whispered. Someone is pretending to be you, and that pretending is about to collapse. Now, dear soul, I need to give you a grounded, protective action pathway while staying in this spiritual message, because spirituality without wisdom is incomplete. Here's what Archangel Michael wants you to do, calmly and quietly. 1. Check your credit and financial alerts. If you have access to a credit report system in your country, review it. Look for anything you did not open. 2. Search your email for keywords: loan, application, verification, approval, bank, credit, KYC, OTP, welcome, congratulations, account. 3. Secure your identity documents. If you have old scans, screenshots, or copies sitting in your phone gallery or cloud, move them to a secure folder, lock them, and remove duplicates that may have been shared. 4. Do not confront the suspect immediately, because if you confront too early, they may destroy evidence, change numbers, or run. Michael says, let divine order guide your timing, because the exposure is going to be clean, and it will clear your name. Now, I must tell you what I saw next. I saw a man connected to this deception. Either he orchestrated it, or he convinced someone else to do it for him. Michael says, he speaks with confidence, but his voice is beginning to crack under spiritual exposure. He thought your name had enough credibility to pass every check. He assumed the system would accept it, but he didn't expect your name carries spiritual authority. And the moment this fraud was submitted, it triggered a shift in your atmosphere, like an alarm went off in the unseen realm. That's why you may have felt lightheaded, uneasy, irritated, or unusually tired. That was your spirit reacting to a violation happening under your name. Now you are being called to reclaim what is yours. And listen, someone you once helped is involved. That part hurts, because they felt entitled. They thought, you won't mind. They thought, you'll never find out. They thought, you owe me. But entitlement becomes wicked the moment it turns into forgery. And Michael says, they crossed a line the moment they decided to forge your future. This is not only about money. This is about your reputation, your integrity, your record, your ability to move freely in life without a shadow following you. That's why the message says legal chaos. Because if this isn't addressed, it can expand. A loan becomes a debt becomes a default becomes a case becomes stress becomes delays become lost opportunities. The enemy loves chains that start as paper, but heaven is breaking those chains now. Now I see a lawyer energy around you, someone cautious, professional, and quiet. You may hear from a legal professional or a compliance officer-like person who says they want to verify details. Their tone will be cautious because they're trained not to accuse, but their contact will confirm what your spirit already knew. And when that happens, Archangel Michael says, your silence has been powerful. It has allowed divine justice to build silently. Sometimes silence is not weakness. Sometimes silence is strategy. Because while you were quiet, heaven was gathering proof. While you were quiet, the system was delaying. While you were quiet, the fraudster was getting tangled in their own steps. Now I also see a bank employee, someone who suspects something. They've been reviewing the application repeatedly. That delay is divine. It's giving time for the truth to surface fully. So if you're called into a meeting, go. Bring your identification. Stay calm. Speak clearly. You don't need to over-explain. Truth doesn't need decoration. Then Michael shows me something important. This fraud is connected to other files. It may not only be the loan. It could be a credit card, a subscription, a service account, a financing plan, a medical or insurance file, an address change, a phone number change. Even if you discover one more thing, don't collapse in fear. It doesn't mean you're doomed. It means the hidden trail is being exposed. Michael says, the divine realm has eyes where no cameras exist. Now listen to the prophecy part. You will start hearing the same name from different mouths. a small comment, a rumor, a mention. By the way, that is the universe stitching the truth together. And the one pretending to be you will soon feel trapped, because the system they manipulated will push back. Their own name will be red flagged. Their own record will be investigated. And there is a financial investigator energy. Someone who just started digging. They don't know you personally, but they feel your file is not right. That person is your earthly ally, placed by heaven. They may reach out indirectly first, through a form, a question, a request, a verification step. Respond truthfully and confidently. That response is a key. Now, dear soul, I need to say this gently. You may be tempted to play detective alone. You may be tempted to confront, threaten, expose. But Michael says, be wise, because when you act too early, you warn the thief. When you act with timing, you trap the lie. Let evidence collect. Let the institution document. Let the process reveal. And yes, paperwork will have to be revised. Michael says there is a detail that was switched to make the fraud possible. An old copy of your ID, a duplicate scan, a corrupted document. When you identify the compromised version, remove it from easy access. And spiritually, this matters too, because access points are not only digital, they are energetic. When you close the access point, you will notice a shift, an email, a phone call, a text, a sudden breakthrough. Now, listen to this. Someone involved in this fraud will try to reach you. Vague words, testing your tone, fishing for how much you know. Do not entertain it. Do not argue. Do not confess emotions. Stand firm. Short answers. Boundaries. No details. Because manipulation feeds on your explanation. And then Michael showed me a dream image. Courtroom energy, documents, your name being verified. That dream is not meant to scare you. It is meant to show you. You have authority. You are not the victim. You are the witness of their downfall. And once the fraud collapses, something else will happen. Your name will begin to be honored again in systems that once flagged it. You may be approved for something you were previously denied. You may see a door reopen. You may see opportunities return. That is divine reversal. And the one who forged your name will face consequences, legal, social, and spiritual. Someone close to them may betray them with proof, a screenshot, email, voice note, and that witness will be positioned like a divine plant, placed exactly for this moment. Now hear the final part. Dear soul, the next 30 days are critical, not because you should be afraid, but because you should be attentive. Watch your alerts. Watch your mailbox. Watch your email. Watch your instincts. If you feel led to check something, check it. If you feel led to secure something, secure it. Because Michael says, this moment was prophesied in silence. The heavens waited for the right exposure point, and now that it's arrived, your name will be protected across all dimensions. You are not alone in this, and you are not powerless. You are protected. You are guided. You are being positioned higher than where you stood before this deception. So if this message confirms what your spirit has been sensing, type amen and declare this out loud. My name is sealed. My identity is protected. Every lie written about me will return to its sender. I will be cleared, restored, and elevated by divine justice, because the enemy touched paper, but heaven touched your destiny, and heaven wins.